so this is project log for GARAM part 7. So you can see here we have the activated carbon filter fully assembled. I mean not fully assembled, but half assembled. That blue thingamabob popping up there, that's the other half. I'm going to fill this thing up with activated carbon. This is not the activated carbon that we've created. It's from, it's pre-made activated carbon. The activated carbon we're going to test is right here. But yes, we're going to test those after finals once the water samples come in from Laos and we actually get to test it with an adequate method. For now, I'm just testing if this housing that I made for the filter is A, waterproof, and B, if the filter membrane at the bottom that I put in there will hold. Those are the two main things that I'm curious about. So I think I filled it up to the brim pretty much. So I'm just going to go ahead and set this down. And is that a good view? Yeah, that's a good enough view. Okay, let me go get my drill, and then we'll connect the two pieces together. And then you can see it. And all this glory. Okay. So I've got my drill. Okay. It's gonna be this one right here. Okay, so we got it, and so I'm going to be using M5 screws to connect these two together. Interestingly enough, I've put this is a TPU water stop, so even if water ends up pouring out somewhere on this side, we get to stop it from leaking out the side, because the water that's input into this filter isn't 100% clean. It probably has heavy metals and minerals in it. So this stopper that I've printed out of TPU is there to just stop that from happening. I just need one more thing. It's just some, I don't know, any cloth will do really. It could be part of my t-shirt, but right now I'm wearing one of my favorites, so I can't rip that off. Okay. Use this thing. Right now the cloth up here is just going to be in place so that the activated carbon filter, the activated carbon inside of the filter doesn't end up spilling out, because that would be very, very annoying to clean up, right? So that's all this thing is for. That's all the filter is for. This cloth is for. I'm sorry, I've been staying up for finals, so I can't really come up with super correct sentences right now. I think this is good enough. Is it good enough? Yeah, I think the TPU plug, TPU stopper, that's set in pretty well. I just need to align the holes decently enough, and I think we should be golden. Okay, or not, or definitely not. Okay. Okay. Test something. Just. So it definitely works, right? I can definitely punch a hole through this thing, no problem. So yeah, let's give it another shot. Okay, looks like it's solid, in my opinion. Come on. Oh, we're offset. Target is offset. That's why nothing was going on. Okay. Are we still offset? Kind of. We're still kind of offset. Okay, there we go. Right? Yeah. Okay. We've got one's the hard part. The rest is pretty easy, honestly. aim through and control the motor speed accordingly. You should get the job done like so. Perfect. Okay. Okay, it's getting pretty hot in here, so let me take off my headphones. Okay. Yeah. Connected. Perfect. One last screw and we should be good to go. Activated carbon is not going to be able to pour out through this side or that side, as we're going to see in a second. Yes, okay. I think it's in place pretty much. Right, yes. Okay, so that's a solid build. Activated carbon, it's not pouring out, as you can see. Those things that are falling to the ground, those are the bits of cotton and also the bits of plastic, because I got a crack here. But okay, so no activated carbon's falling out. Let me just cut the cloth around this so that you get a better view once I poured the water in. Also, so I don't slip or mess anything up. Okay, so okay, come on. Okay, so good. Okay, so that's I think decent enough. Yeah, we've cleaned up a big chunk of that. Honestly, I think this is how we're going to be doing it in Laos too, because I'm too lazy to make a piece of cloth that perfectly fits this. It's not worth my time or effort, honestly. So, okay, so we got this. We're going to pour water into here, and then water is going to come out here. Hopefully this pressure is enough to get the membrane going. How do I put water in there? That's another problem that I gotta answer. But fortunately for us, we have this pipe. Actually, I think the solution's gonna be simple enough because I have a purifier that's active out there. So we're just gonna plug it in to the membrane filter, and if it works, well then we know that the full project works in all its glory. So just a second. Let me set this to the camera. Some of you guys can see it. See what I'm doing? I think you can get a pretty good view of what's happening from there. So this is a water stop. This is in store to let the membrane, Jesus, doesn't dry up. Right. So once I remove it, water is gonna pour out like that. Okay, so you can see that is water that has been filtrated by the membrane firsthand. So if I plug this in, oh Jesus, so that is what's happened here. Why is this so? I don't know. Look. Whoa. What is that? Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and cut this part off. I'll be right back. Just a second. I'm just gonna cut this part off, just because that looks a bit too dirty for my liking and comfort. So, yeah. Okay, so we cut that part off. I'm gonna connect this to that and see how it goes. Okay, moment of truth. Okay, so as you can see, I don't know if you can see this, but water is trickling in to the activated carbon filter. It is not through any means. I think it's probably gonna maybe seep out through this because this cloth is water friendly. Oh, okay, so it seeps out through, funnily enough, it seeps out through this hole that we've made here. And okay, so this hole is created because this has infill inside and it's broken, right? So okay, so still, although that water, that's okay because we can fix that in the later model. What I'm really curious is the water gonna be able to make it out through this hole in the bottom? This is all fine as long as water can make it out of there. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Also got to check. Okay, so it's coming out from all sides of the infill. That's mainly my fault because I made a mistake with the drill, right? So the drill was this hole was too small, so I enlarged it manually via drill. And I think we're seeing the consequences pretty soon now, right? Okay, so obviously I got to redesign this because there's problems with it, obviously. And I don't think the problem, I think, is it doesn't give it enough time for the insides of the filter or the activated carbon to get the water it needs, because it just pumps it out into other side roads too quickly, so the water really doesn't get to the activated carbon. So I'm going to put this stopper back on, and then we're going to open the activated carbon filter and see what actually happened. If the membrane filter is at least wet, I would call it a semi-success. If it is not, I would call it a failure. Alright, okay, so it is. There's a lot of water that's coming out of this thing, right? Mainly through all the other holes, and there also seems to be a activated carbon leak here. This is probably because there's a problem with the PTG infill. That's why these happen, is because PTG infill problems is why this happens. I'm just going to dry my hand. I'm going to check if this, actually I think that might just have been wet because I put it on the floor, so okay, so that's pretty meaningless. Okay, that's sad, but it is what it is. I'm going to open this up, and then we'll see where exactly we had problems. Just a second. By the way, today is cleaning day for the dormitory. If I get cleaning violation, I don't care. Okay, so Jesus. Okay, now we should be able to remove this top cap. Okay, and then as we can see here, the TPU stop worked because the AC didn't pour out. Now the water has found its way out, and that's actually a problem that we're going to fix by simple means. Is just limit the area of this cotton filter to right here, so just before the TPU stop, and that way we can stop water from getting out via seeping into those cotton fibers. Now, I think we're also gonna have to take off this bottom part, but activated carbon is wet, so you can see there. I think, by the way, we still have holes and problems here. I think there's a problem with the filament or with printing. So below there somewhere we have problems. So I'm gonna dump this activated carbon out into some reservoir, and I'm gonna check what exactly went wrong here. We're gonna see. So let me just bring out a beaker to pour out the AC, and then we shall see what happened. Okay, so beaker, we brought the beaker. It's right here. We're gonna pour the AC out. Okay, obviously it doesn't like to budge. Apparently, I gotta get something to poke it with. Actually, I have this knife. This is perfect for this occasion. So. So, the point of consideration is how the people there are going to be able to remove this activated carbon. Actually, I think just a bit of brute force effort to get the job done. I mean, that's how I'm doing it right now, right? So, this should... So that's quite a lot of activated carbon, actually. Okay, so we're... So mostly emptied, I think. Or at least empty enough. Let me just... By the way, activated carbon is absolutely harmless. It's an organic material, so there's no problems whatsoever. Okay, so it's almost empty. I'm going to take off this part, bottom part now. And, oh crap. Then we are going to see... These look like little bugs, so that's annoying. We're going to take off this bottom part and see what happens. So I think the obvious problem we found is, at least for now, the top with the top cap. Oh, okay, I don't think you can really see. I think the obvious problem that we found so far is with the top cap and how broken structure causes problems with the water seeping out through the infill. Okay, so that's the TPU sleeve, or TPU stopper there. It actually, I think, I don't know if it worked because water has somehow made its way out. Two things, I don't know if the water has made it out through this, through like this, or if it just seeped out through the infill. I would say it is the former, the latter. Because this part is relatively clean, right? The outer part is relatively clean compared to this inner part, which is black. So that means the TPU sleeve did a good job. But if we see here, focus, thank you. You see these black lines, and that's activated carbon, right? So if I had to judge, I would say that activated carbon seeped out, or water containing the activated carbon seeped out through these infill regions inside the print. So, which means we got to print this thing again with more with more wall loops, and yeah, we got to print it with more wall loops. So, all right, so okay, let's take a look at this thing. Okay, so this is the bottom part of the activated carbon filter. This clear plastic rubber thing is the TPU stop. So it's basically a drainage plug, is the way to think of it. So this keeps the activated carbon in check so that the membrane filter down here, it doesn't rip. Yes, sir. 그
못 들어가.
보여줄 수 있는데 제가 치워드리겠습니다.
이게 뭐야?
그 활성탄 필터 실험하고 있습니다. 어차피 수치라서 땅에 떨어져도 아무 상관. Okay, so this is the drainage plug we see, and I've just touched this blue part right here, and to my actual surprise, it's not wet actually. So it means, so if it was wet, we would see. Come on, why does this thing not focus? Okay, that's way better. Okay, so if it was wet, we would see that this part would turn dark green, but it doesn't. So let me actually wet this just so we can see. Ouch. What it looks like when it's wet. Okay. So firstly, if it's wet, it's gonna have water near it. But then once it starts to seep through, if it's wet, it's gonna turn to that darker shade, and it's, well, one, it hasn't turned to that darker shade, so it's definitely not wet. Okay, so we're gonna check this top part, and then open it up, remove. There's like 4 membrane papers in there, so we're gonna check what exactly happened. Fingers crossed. Anyway. Okay, so I'm gonna remove this with this knife I found. So I'm gonna just gently try to peel this thing off, slowly. This is quite a snug fit, so. Alright. Okay, so it's coming out slowly, but surely. See? Alright, so it's almost done. Okay, ouch. So, we've removed this plug. This is the plug I was talking about. And by the looks of it, the activated carbon didn't fully block this thing, so it still has some holes that allow water to permeate through. Now, inside here we have these. Okay, so this is the first one. This is obviously wet. And then this white thing is the membrane itself. I'm gonna check right now, but okay. So here's an interesting part of it. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that. Ah, crap. Okay, it's fine. That doesn't change the result. Okay, so I'm gonna place it right on the blade. All right. So I don't know if you can see that, but there's 2 regions. There's this white part at the bottom, and then there's this somewhat grayish white part on the rest, right? This white part means it's not wet, like at all. And then this gray part, means that it's wet, and it'll soak water up and do its job. But this white part means that it's absolutely not wet. So what that means is we're gonna go down and check more of the filters below, actually. Let me show you. So, like this one, right? This one's, oh crap, come on, why do I keep dropping stuff? Okay, like this one, right? This one's, it's more obvious here. So you see that how there's a distinct white and gray. White means that water has not met, or water has not been absorbed into this sheet of membrane at all. And then this gray part means that some water has been absorbed. So again, then as we go down in layers, we're going to see less and less water being absorbed, right? Because not a lot of water made it down here in the first place. And then right here, this is arguably the most obvious. Come on, honey. is this one. It's just fucking white, right? There's no gray compared to this. There's no gray. This thing is not wet, right? Like at all. If it breaks like this easily, then it means it's not wet. If it has to rip, or if it's more durable than that, it means it's wet because see, it doesn't break easily. It stretches because it's wet, right? So wet membranes stretch like this, and then if it's dry, it just breaks like that, right? So I think is this the last layer? Let me see. No, we have one more. Okay, so we've learned 3 things. One is that, firstly, we got to change the casing so that everything holds water better, especially this PETG container, because this thing sucks at holding water and being waterproof. I think the TPU water stop worked, so we're going to try this method again. And then the last thing is we need less... Holy shit. Okay, so we had 3 more membranes after that, none of which were in the least way wet. Okay, so we need way less membranes. There's no way we need this many, right? So we had 3 more, okay? All of which are completely dry. Okay, so initially I put these membranes, so many membranes, because I thought 1 or 2 might rip. That is not the case. These things are extremely durable once wet. So I'm going to change strategies and go out on a limb and just put 1, because, well, firstly, these things are expensive, right? So I'm just going to put 1 and then 2 of these water sheet papers, and then that's how I'm going to roll with it. So that's 1. And then 2, casing. 3 is the cotton, this one, the cotton stop at the top. We have to size it so that it just fits in this area right here, and so that this TPU water stop can actually do its job, because it can't really do its job when that thing is stretched all the way out here, and so water can flow out. So those 3 things we gotta fix. This has been a very long, very long project log, but yes. So anyway, we've learned a lot. I'll go change some stuff, and I'll be right back. Bye-bye.